Welcome back, everybody. It's Smackworth here, bringing you yet another Halo Combat Evolved legendary speedrun video. Already hitting a grenade jump at the very beginning of the level. I'm bringing you the library today. It's a bit of a long one. This was my first sub 12, sub 13. At this very moment, I can't remember which one, but it's definitely my best time by far, and I'm gonna try to explain this first trick that I'm doing before I start yapping. So, if you played this game before, you know about Reviver Flood, which are Flood that basically play possum whenever you shoot them. So you shoot them, they go down, and then they come back up, they revive like zombies. And so basically, whenever a reviver goes down and gets back up, the geometry collides with your body and kind of just shoves you forward. So we can use that to our advantage there and line up against the door that we need to progress through. And instead of waiting for Guilty Spark to open up the door, we just shoot the Reviver Flood right in front of it, lining it up perfectly and making him go down. And when he gets back up, it shoves us right through the wall. And then in this section here, just a little bit of combat, a nice little shotgun grab there using the the frag grenade, so that way we don't have to slow down to pick up the shotgun, which is by far the most effective weapon. I think in general in this game, I was going to say the most effective weapon for killing Flood, but it's like the best weapon in general in this game. It's really amazing against shielded enemies, against flesh enemies, against everything. It's just great. And so there I do a nice little grenade jump right after I grab the overshield down there. So the overshield for like 3 seconds after you pick it up gives you complete invulnerability. So I use that to my advantage, do a grenade jump out of there and preserve my overshield. This part is actually really scary, probably one of the most scary parts of the entire level, because there are just so many enemies and they're just chasing you down. Like if you look at my minimap, you can see there's literally like 20 enemies like stacked on top of each other following me around, and finally some more enemies there, and then boom, we are through the first level, the first story of the library there, and we get in this elevator. There's going to be a couple different stories, a couple different levels of the library that we're going to have to get through, and this is one of the nice things about the library actually, is that they kind of give you a break on the elevator to kind of collect your thoughts and take a drink of your scotch if that's what you're into. And this next part is the first RNG trick required. I think it's completely RNG dependent. So I think it's like the first RNG dependent trick in the entire game. I can't really think of any others right now. So we're going to do another bump through the wall using the Flood, but we're going to use a carrier this time. And so what actually bumps us are the little popcorn Flood inside of the carrier. And what direction the little popcorn Flood gets shot out of when the carrier pops is the RNG part. It's completely random, and you need it to shoot out at the perfect angle in order to shove you through the wall. And so that people say it's like 1 in 5, 1 in 7 chance to get a popcorn Flood that'll actually shove you through the wall. And so whenever you do hit that trick first try, like I just did, you're feeling really good. You're like, this is the run. This is a good library here. And let me tell you, it took me forever to grind out a good time on the library. Another grenade jump here. Guilty Spark wants you to wait for him to open all these doors, but there's pretty much a way to skip all of them, and each of them take like 45 seconds. There's even one that takes like a minute and a half, but we're gonna get there later. And so now it's just some more combat. Now what's coming up next is what we call the rocket hallway, because there's a Flood with a rocket launcher, which is probably like the most lethal enemy in this game, because they kind of track you with like perfect accuracy and just absolutely demolish you in one shot because they have a rocket launcher, obviously. So this combat section is really tough because you've got all these Flood jumping behind you, in front of you, next to you. And you just have to gun them down while dodging carrier forms. And there's the rocket flood right there. I threw a nade and also shot a couple of carrier forms around him just to kind of make double sure that that rocket flood is going to die. And so now I've gotten the carrier bump first try through that door earlier, and I haven't died yet. So right now I'm feeling really good. Like, this is super rare. I can't think of how long it took me to grind out a good time on the library. And it's not even like the cleanest run, to be honest with you, but it was my first sub 12. I'm just gonna say sub 12. Actually, I can just check right now. What time did I get on this? No, it was a sub 13. Okay, so not a sub 12. So this was like the first sub 13 that I got. And so I decided to take it. And we're taking another elevator ride, taking another drink of scotch, moving on. And this next section is kind of nice. The game gives you like a free health pack and free pistol ammo and free shotgun ammo. These guys are guaranteed to have shotguns. They can kind of just get your free shotgun ammo. And if you're low on health, there's a health pack up there. But I had decent health, so I decided to not slow down and just keep moving. Don't need the health, don't need the pistol ammo. Just try to get through this as fast as possible. Now it's coming up another dangerous piece of combat here, where there's going to be some carrier forms, some big explodey guys in these tight hallways. You're going to have to take your time a little bit and move forward. There we go, and I'm making sure I'm not getting a checkpoint in this section because I want a checkpoint later. I'm kind of manipulating my checkpoint in order to have it in the perfect spot to where I can do this next trick a couple times in a row rapidly if I need to. So this is another RNG trick coming up. I'm gonna do another flood bump through this door here, but these flood only have a 40% chance to be a reviver and 60% chance just to be a normal flood. And so I actually got amazing RNG there. It's basically a coin flip whether that guy's going to be a reviver or not. And he was. So I got extremely lucky, got it first try. Usually you manipulate the checkpoint right in front of that door so that if you fail it, if you don't get the RNG first or second try, you still have like a couple tries. And I'm actually skipping a huge piece of combat here by parkouring on the right side of that hallway there. And so if you kind of skim the right edge of that cliff, you skip a whole bunch of enemy spawns here for some reason. So just skipped a bunch of combat there. And now that I'm through that trick, that last flood bump, which we call the dark door, because I guess the door doesn't have any lights or anything. But we made it through that first try, and we got the carrier bump first try, and we haven't died. So right now I'm actually like sweating, like really nervous. Oh, I forgot about that death. Okay, so I do have a death there, and I guarantee you, while I was playing this, I was like, no, 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 no. In fact, now watching it back, I can remember how disappointed I was that I died there, because it sent me back like 30-40 seconds, and I was like so disappointed because some shotgun guy fell from the roof behind me and just like blasted me in the back of the head while somebody was shooting needlers at me. So that was just unfortunate. So this actually could have been like a really good run, like close to 12 minutes flat if I didn't die there. That was a really bad death. I kind of forgot about that. So I mean, just room for improvement, really. So now it's coming up to the minute-and-a-half door that I was talking about. So we're going to clip inside the door there by standing in a spot while it's closing. And we're going to do some very specific lineups here. Toss a nade to stall our checkpoint even longer. Do some parkour, land on this tiny little ledge here, and do a trick that we call the light bump. You have to line up pixel perfect here, and then do some inputs. And it looks like we just fell through the ceiling, but we actually teleported super far past the door, and we're through the door. We save almost a minute and a half, because Guilty Spark takes literally a minute and a half to open that door for you. And so we do that, the light bump trick. It's a huge trick, and it takes some really precise lining up. And like I said, it's literally a frame, not a frame perfect, a pixel perfect lineup that you have to do in order to get the teleport there. And basically the teleport works the same way as like a flood bump does. You're intersecting with other geometry, and the game just doesn't like that and decides to just kind of fling you in a direction so that you and the other object aren't colliding with each other anymore. Now some more combat here. Oh, here's another part that I messed up on, dude. Like, these guys were just cooking me in the back, and I needed my shields to do this grenade jump here, and then I failed the grenade jump. So I had to wait for my shields, and then after all that waiting, I failed my grenade jump. Dude, this could have been like a sub 12 if I didn't die and if I hit my nade jump first try. But do a nice little fun nade jump there. And watching this back has been kind of disappointing. I hit all the tricks first try, but then all these hard parts I die on. And so on this part, I decide that I'm gonna just hide in this corner here. This is something weird about Combat Evolved Anniversary, is that what you see, like the textures that you see and the actual geometry of the game, don't always line up perfectly with each other, because honestly I think it's because 343 Industries was kind of sloppy whenever they did the anniversary graphics. And so even though it looks like I'm just like standing in the open here, I'm actually outside of the map. And so the Flood have no idea where I am, and they can't get me, so I can just wait for that door to open and have no risk of being harmed, because the Flood literally have no clue where I am. And now we're getting to the final combat section of the level here. Right now I don't have any pistol ammo. I've gotten really unlucky on the pistol ammo. I really could have used it to kill some of these guys here. I start getting shot in the back, and I'm like, no, I only have one frag grenade. I need it for one more grenade jump here. This is the hardest one, and we make it first try. And now there's going to be about 5 zillion enemies spawning behind me, and so I just have to book it to the end of the level here. Doing that nade jump through the door makes it to where these enemies kind of spawn behind you instead of right in front of you, like the game developers intended to. And so that way you can just run straight to the end, and boom, bada bing, there you go, you have the library. And then there's like a minute long unskippable cutscene here, and this time would count on a marathon run. All cutscene times count on your marathon runs, but for the individual level, no, it doesn't count. So the time actually ended as soon as the cutscene started, and so this time isn't actually going to be counted. And this is all according to HaloRuns.com rules, which is just like all my other speedrunning levels is where I'm going to be submitting my times to. That's HaloRuns.com is where they have all the leaderboards, all the rules that everybody follows for Halo speedrunning, for any Halo game in general. And so the cutscene is finally going to end here. It's going to show our final in-game time. So the in-game time was 12:47, but with HaloRuns.com rules, it came out to like a 12:50. I think it was a 12:50 flat. So there you go, guys. There's the library. Thanks so much for checking it out, man. Two Betrayals coming next. Peace.